Hello and welcome to Uni Life's blended learning program. On behalf of Uni Life, I'd like to say how thrilled we are to have you join us. Whether you're here to build new skills, grow your confidence, or take your first aid training to the next level, you've made an excellent choice and we're here to support you every step of the way. Let me introduce myself. My name is Louise Viviers, and I am an accredited facilitator and assessor with Uni Life. I've worked closely with our team to compile these presentations, ensuring they align with the QCTO curriculum and provide you with everything you need to succeed. Now, let me introduce someone else who will be helping you throughout this journey, Ayanda. Ayanda is our friendly and capable AI narrator. She's here to guide you through the material, explain concepts clearly, and help bring the presentations to life. This program has been designed with you in mind. Whether you're starting at the basic level, advancing through the intermediate course, or mastering the skills required of an advanced responder, you'll find this learning experience welcoming, flexible, and enriching. Our aim is to make you feel confident and well prepared for every challenge you might face, both during training and in real-life situations. We understand that starting a new program can sometimes feel overwhelming, but I want to assure you that you're in the right place. You've got this. Take it one step at a time and know that this program is designed to meet you where you are and help you grow. Together, with expert-designed content, Ayanda's guidance and your dedication will make this journey a rewarding and transformative experience. So let's get started. Take a deep breath, dive in, and embrace this opportunity to learn, grow, and make a difference. We're so glad to have you here.
Hi, my name is Ayanda, and I'll be your narrator for the duration of this course. First, I'd like to take a moment to thank Louise Viviers for choosing me to narrate this program. I'm excited to be here, and I hope we'll get to know each other well as we work through this course together. Before we dive into all the interesting and practical content, we're going to quickly go over some key information about the basic, intermediate, and advanced first aid responder courses. This will help us build a solid foundation and ensure that we're all on the same page. So, let's get started and make this a fun and engaging learning experience. Curriculum comparison between basic, intermediate, and advanced first aid. Introduction. Welcome to our session on understanding the distinctions and commonalities between the levels of first aid training, basic, intermediate, and advanced. While each level builds upon foundational principles, they cater to different competencies and scenarios, ensuring responders are equipped to handle emergencies appropriate to their skill level. Section 1. Shared principles across all levels. Let's start by looking at the commonalities. Core objectives. Regardless of level, the primary goals are to preserve life, prevent further injury, and promote recovery. These are universal to all first aiders. Legal and ethical compliance. All responders are trained to adhere to South African regulations, including the Occupational Health and Safety Act. This ensures every action is legally compliant and ethically sound. Basic skills, techniques like controlling bleeding, performing CPR, and managing minor injuries are the foundation of all first aid training. Even advanced responders rely on these essential skills. Practical assessments. Every level involves hands-on training and evaluation to validate practical competency. Section 2. Differences in curriculum scope and complexity. Basic first aid. Basic first aid focuses on introducing fundamental life-saving techniques. Knowledge area. Students learn to address common emergencies like cuts, burns, and minor wounds. Scope of practice. Actions are limited to straightforward and immediate scenarios. Training duration. This level has the shortest duration, prioritizing quick deployment of essential skills. For example, if a person suffers a nosebleed or a burn, a basic first aider will be equipped to manage the situation effectively until additional help arrives. Intermediate first aid. Intermediate first aid bridges the gap between foundational and advanced training. Knowledge area includes a broader range of emergencies, such as fractures, shock, and environmental injuries. Scope of practice: responders learn secondary assessment techniques and patient monitoring to manage moderate emergencies. Training complexity: anatomy and physiology are covered in greater depth to enhance understanding. For instance, a workplace responder encountering a colleague in shock after an accident will know how to stabilize and monitor them until paramedics arrive. Advanced first aid. Advanced first aid is designed for leaders and responders who manage life-threatening emergencies. Knowledge area covers in-depth anatomy and physiology, advanced life support techniques, and the use of medical equipment like AEDs and oxygen masks. Scope of practice: advanced responders take charge of emergency scenes, applying diagnostic and leadership skills to ensure optimal care. Training duration: the most intensive program, with comprehensive scenario-based training. For example, an advanced responder leading a response to a cardiac arrest would perform CPR, deploy an AED, and coordinate bystanders effectively while communicating with EMS. Section 3: Importance of tailored presentations. Presentations like this are critical for ensuring clarity across all levels of training. For basic first aiders, it reinforces essential skills and confidence. Intermediate responders benefit from a deeper understanding of their expanded scope. Advanced responders gain leadership insights and advanced techniques. These tailored approaches ensure that regardless of the responder's level, they are well prepared for assessments, practicals, and real-life scenarios. Section 4: Assessments and exams. Finally, assessments are aligned to each level. Basic first aid tests foundational knowledge and skills like wound care and CPR. Intermediate first aid evaluates broader procedural skills, such as managing fractures and shock. Advanced first aid incorporates scenario-based testing to assess leadership, advanced diagnostics, and complex care management. By maintaining this alignment, we ensure that each responder is evaluated fairly and effectively, based on their training and responsibilities. Conclusion: understanding the differences between basic, intermediate, and advanced first aid helps clarify how each level contributes to a robust emergency response system. Every level is vital, and together, they ensure a continuum of care from the moment an emergency occurs to the arrival of professional medical assistance. Let's recap. Comparison between basic, intermediate, and advanced first aid levels. Common features: core principles of first aid. Across all levels, first aid responders are trained to preserve life, prevent further injury, and promote recovery. Emphasis on ensuring personal safety and assessing scene risks before administering aid. Basic procedures: handling wounds, controlling bleeding, and performing CPR are foundational skills for all levels. Legal and ethical compliance: adherence to South African regulations, including the Occupational Health and Safety Act, is consistent across all levels. Practical assessments: each level requires demonstration of skills through hands-on practical assessments. Differences. Knowledge scope. Basic first aid covers fundamental life-saving techniques and common medical emergencies like bleeding and minor burns. Intermediate first aid introduces a broader range of emergencies, such as fractures, shock, and specific workplace hazards. Advanced first aid focuses on critical care, advanced life support techniques, and managing complex emergencies, for example, cardiac arrest, anaphylaxis. Level of detail in anatomy and physiology. Basic, general overview of human anatomy as it relates to first aid. Intermediate, more detailed understanding of body systems. Advanced, in-depth knowledge of systems like cardiovascular, nervous, and respiratory systems, linked to emergency care. Assessment techniques. Basic primary assessment. Intermediate includes secondary assessment and patient monitoring. Advanced comprehensive assessments, including advanced diagnostic signs and the use of equipment like AEDs and oxygen masks. Scope of practice. Basic, limited to immediate and straightforward scenarios. Intermediate, manages moderate emergencies requiring splinting or immobilization. Advanced, capable of leading an emergency scene, applying advanced procedures and managing life-threatening conditions until professional medical help arrives. Training duration and complexity. Training hours and curriculum complexity increase with each level. Basic, shorter duration with focus on essential life-saving skills. Intermediate, moderately expanded content and practicals. Advanced comprehensive, skill-intensive training and scenarios. Importance of tailored presentations. Regardless of the focus on advanced responders, presentations must address the foundational principles applicable to all levels to build a unified understanding. Advanced level presentations are crucial too. Prepare leaders who can manage emergency scenes effectively. Ensure a higher quality of emergency response in diverse environments. Bridge knowledge gaps for transitioning from basic to advanced capabilities. Assessments and exams. Aligned with the respective levels' curriculum to ensure fairness and appropriate competency validation. Basic and intermediate assessments test foundational and procedural skills. Advanced assessments incorporate scenario-based testing, emphasizing leadership, advanced diagnostics, and treatment execution. Before we start, assessment and presentation overview. Before we begin, let's take a moment to talk about how the assessments and presentations for this course are structured. Each level, basic first aid, intermediate first aid, and advanced first aid, has its own specific requirements for assessment. These requirements are clearly laid out step by step for each level, ensuring you know exactly what's expected to successfully complete your training. Your final assessments and written exams will also align with your appropriate level of training. Now, while your final evaluations are tailored to your level, our PowerPoint presentation combines the content from basic, intermediate, and advanced first aid into one cohesive format. This approach is more practical for our logistics and offers a unique advantage. By being exposed to material from all levels, every student, whether in basic or intermediate, will gain broader knowledge, making you a more well-rounded and confident first aid responder. That being said, it is important that each student follows their curriculum according to their appropriate manual. Your manual is specifically designed to align with your level of training, ensuring that the knowledge and skills you develop are suited to your scope of practice. This blended structure ensures that no matter where you start, you'll finish with a strong understanding of first aid principles, equipping you with the skills and confidence to handle emergencies effectively. So, as we move through this presentation, remember that the knowledge you gain here is not just about passing assessments, it's about preparing you to make a real difference in critical moments.